Welcome students in the course of Marketing of Services. This is Dr. Ram Singh, Assistant Professor, School of Management, BBD University, Lucknow. Today we are going to start with first module of our syllabus, that is Introduction to Marketing of Services. Let's have a look on the content of syllabus of first module. In this module, we will cover basics of service marketing, nature and types of services, difference between service and goods, then unique characteristics of services, importance of service quality and service components, framework for marketing of services, improving services, relationship marketing. Then we discuss about environment for service marketing, that is macro and micro environment. Then we understand about the service customer model and consumer behavior for the services. And finally, we discuss about STPs, that is service marketing, segmentation, targeting, and positioning. So let's start. In today's lecture, in this lecture series, we will cover services, classification of services, nature of service marketing, unique characteristics of services, difference between goods and services, and factors affecting service marketing. So let us try to understand what are services. So services are activities, benefits, or the satisfaction which are offered for sale or provided in connection with the sale of goods. So when we talk about services, so services are activities or the benefits provided by the service provider to the customers, and it can be for offered for sale or it can be provided in connection with the sales of goods. For example, when you go to watch movie, it is offered for sale, right? Movie is offered for sale. On the other hand, when you go for repairing of your air conditioner or you go for servicing of your motorbikes or cars, in that case, it is provided in connection with the sales of good, right? So this is basic definition of service. So a service is an activity or benefit that one party offered to another, and it should be essentially intangible in nature. Means the services are intangible. They cannot be seen, right? They cannot be touched. Like goods, they can only experience. They can only feel. Then service involves some interaction with the customers, but it doesn't affect the ownership. It doesn't affect the ownership. There is no transfer of ownership in case of services. Now coming on the next topic, that is how services can be classified. So they can be classified as people processing, position processing, mental stimulus processing, and information processing. Now, what are people processing services? So these are the services where customers should be there, should be present at a site of service, right? Here the services are basically processing people, right? For example, when you go to beauty salon to get your hair cut, so that is people processing service. You go over there and you process through that particular service, means you get your hair cut. So this services require that customers should be physically present at the site of the services, and they are an integral part of the process. Customers are the integral part of the process and cannot avail the service at arm's length with service suppliers. Customers cannot avail these kind of services from the remote areas. He should be present at a site of service. Now, in this kind of services, what happens? Production and consumption of services are simultaneous. That means that it takes place at the same time. And of course, it requires active cooperation from the customers. As you go to dentist, right? When dentist is giving you a treatment, it requires that you should cooperate. If you're not going to cooperate him, then of course it results in failure of the service, failure of that particular treatment. So in this type of services, that is very important that apart from financial cost, non-financial cost must be considered by the service provider, means that at what kind of the time, mental and physical efforts that customer is having while taking services. Then another type of services or services can be classified as position processing services. Here, service organization provide tangible treatment for some kind of physical position. For example, speed post. For example, parcel. So when you send parcel, it is again the type of position processing. Means service provider is processing your position, right? Or you can take example mobile repairing. You give your mobile phone at a service center and service provider process it and give it to you back. So unlike for people processing services, production consumptions are not necessary simultaneously in the case of position processing services, right? So it gives more flexibility to the service provider in designing the services in a more cost efficient way. So in this kind of services, customers tends to be less involved in the service as compared to the people process service, and this involvement may confine only to the dropping or collecting of your position, right? You go to the post office for sending your parcel, so you are just dropping it or you collect it from the postman, right? So in this type of services, it is possible that production and consumption can be separable. Now, another type of services is mental stimulus processing services. Now, these services are basically the services which touch people's minds and have the ability to shape the attitude and behavior of the customers. For example, education. For example, news channels. For example, professional advice. So, these mental stimulus processing services affect the attitude and having influence on the behavior of the customer. Again, in this kind of services, customers are not required to be physically present at the site of the service. They have to only access the information remotely when they need it. So we can take the example that these kind of services can be inventoried for consumption at a later date, right? For example, you can take example from this lecture itself that these services can be digitalized and can be stored in digital form, and you can access it anytime in future. It doesn't require that you should present at a site of service as compared to the physical classroom. Then another way of classifying the services as information processing. Now, information is the most intangible form of service output. So these information should be transformed into some permanent and tangible forms like reports or like books, right? So whatever the information that you get from, for example, research consultancies. So whatever the information they collect from the survey, it should be properly conveyed or transformed into tangible forms like reports or the books. So in general, what happened, most of the time there's a combination of mental stimulus and information processing services. So we use the one umbrella term, that is information based services, for these kind of services. Now see another way of classifying the service. Services can be classified on the basis of degree of tangibility, that is highly tangible, service links to tangible goods, and highly intangible. So when we talk about highly tangible, it includes your car rental, right? You take the cab services, so it is highly tangible. It means that you can assess the quality just by looking on the car model that you are having for cab service that you are availing, right? Then vending machines, So you can see the vending machine over there. So these are again highly tangible. Then another category of services that are linked to the tangible goods. The example that I have just discussed, that repair services of your domestic appliances like your air conditioner, right, your refrigerators, right, or services of your car, servicing of your bikes. So these are the services that are linked to tangible goods. And third category comes under this is your highly intangible services. For example, consultancy services. For example, services of psychotherapies. So these are one of the classification that can be done on the basis of tangibility. Then another way of classifying the service is on the basis of the skills of service provider. So on this basis, we can classify services as professional and non-professional services. So professional means that it requires certain kind of degree or certain kind of education, for example, medical services, for example, teaching, for example, legal services, right? On the other hand, there are another class of services that is non-professional services. That means that they don't require any kind of special education or any kind of professional knowledge, for example, babysitter or caretaker. Then another way of classification of service is on the basis of degree of regulation. Here it means that how much the government is interfering in the service delivery. So here it can be classified as highly regulated, limited regulated, and non-regulated. So basically this is the classification that is based on the extent of intervention by the government through various regulations, through various legislations or the laws. So it can be highly regulated, for example, hospitals or insurance industries. These are highly regulated in service sector where there is very much extent of intervention of the government, right? Then there are limited regulations, limited regulated services where the government is issued a certain guidelines and service provider have to follow that guideline. So for example, fast food industry, for example, catering services. Then third category is non-regulated. Means there is no such regulation by the government, there is no such intervention by the government. For example, caretaker, for example, house painting. So this is one of the way of classifying the service. Then another classification of services can be done on the basis of labor intensiveness. So again, here we can have equipment based services or people based services. So when we talk about equipment based services, they can be further classified as automated, means your vending machines, your ATM. Here the machines is automated by, they are automated, they operate by themselves. Then another is a set of services which required to operation by the unskilled operator, for example, dry cleaning. Then third set is set of services that are operated by skilled operator, for example, airlines operators, right? Then on the degree of labor intensiveness, first is equipment based services, then we can second classification we can make is on basis of, that is people based services. So here people based services can be further classified as unskilled labor, skilled labor, or professional. So unskilled labor means that it doesn't require any kind of specific skill, for example, caretaker, security guards, etc. Then skilled labor, it requires a particular skill, for example, service provider which are in the repairing of your appliances, right, or the plumbers. Then professionals, it requires a certain professional knowledge, for example, your doctors, your lawyers, etc. Then another classification can be done on the basis of the degree of customer contact. So here we can classify services as high contact service and low contact service. So in high contact service means where the customer spent a long span of time with the service provider. For example, universities, you spend lot of time within the classroom, right? Or hotel, you spend a time in hotel. high contact services mean here the customer spend a large amount of time with the service provider, right? On the other hand, low contact services where customer doesn't spend too much time with the service provider. For example, post office or reservation center, we just go over there and post or mail our letter or parcel and we come back. So here the customer is not going to spend too much time with the service provider. Or you can take example reservation centers where just you go over there for making the reservation, you are not going to stay over there. So of course in high contact service, yes, it is required that service provider must consider each and every aspect because customer is staying with you for the long period of time. Now coming on nature of service marketing. So first nature is intangible, what we have discussed that services are intangible in nature, that they cannot be seen, they cannot be touched, but they can be only felt or experienced. Then another is low price sensitivity. So services are low price sensitive. Means if customer is paying high, it means that he is expecting good services. And of course, vice versa, if we are offering the service at a low price, so he can compromise with the quality of service. Then third is nature is it is a value creation process. Of course, in service marketing, you can add value by the help of people, means your employees, the procedures that you are opt for delivering the service, and the performance and the pace of your service delivery. Then fourth characteristics or the nature of service marketing is that services cannot be stored, right? There is no inventory, right? So these are some of the nature of service marketing. Now on the basis of this, we can have these unique characteristics of services, and these characteristics poses a challenge for the marketers to formulate different strategies in case of services from the goods. So what are these characteristics? Let's have a look. First is intangibility, that services cannot be seen, services cannot be touched, but they can be feel. Then second is inseparability, means that service provider and customers are inseparable. Means in most of the cases that it is required that customers should be present at a site of service. Means the service creation and service consumption take place simultaneously, right? Then third is heterogeneity. Heterogeneity in terms of quality. Heterogeneity in terms of quality of service delivered. So in case of goods, there are certain set standards are there, and over there, whatever the output in case of goods, it will be standardized, right? If you go for any model of mobile phone, you will have the same kind of display, same kind of camera quality, same kind of features you will find across each and every model of that particular mobile. But in case of service, there is always a variation in quality of delivering the service, even the same person delivering the service. For example, you visit a doctor, right? So might be possible on first day, he may treat you very well, and as he is not having any engagement and he's not having any kind of appointment, so he may treat you very well, and you feel like yes, the doctor is perfect and he's very good doctor. But might be possible the next time when you visit the same doctor, he may not treat you well, or he may not deliver the services as per your expectation, because that expectation formed on the basis of the previous your previous visit. Because might be possible that he's having some emergencies, he's having some appointments or engagements. So the same person cannot deliver the same quality of service each and every time. So yes, there is heterogeneity in case of services. Then fourth characteristic is perishability, that is services cannot be stored, means that they cannot be resold. For example, if you go for booking book for the movie, then whatever the seats that are vacant in particular show, it will remain vacant, and it is only going to cause, or it will only result in loss of revenue to the multiplex, but it is not going to resell that particular vacancies for the next show. Similarly, in the case of airlines, once the seats are vacant, it is going to result in the loss of revenue to the service provider, so services cannot be restored. Then fifth characteristic is no transfer of ownership. Yes, in case of services, there is no transfer of ownership. Unlike goods, when we go for purchasing the goods, we get a receipt, and in that case, of course, that receipt is the confirmation of transfer of ownership, right? For example, you go for purchasing bike or car, you get a receipt, you get a paper for that, and it will transfer to you. Or you go for purchasing a laptop, you get a receipt, and it means that now the laptop, you make the payment, and now the laptop belongs to you. But it is not with the case of services. You just go to the service provider and for consuming the service, but not owing the service. For example, you go to the beauty parlor for getting your haircut. So you just get your haircut, but you are not going to own the beauty parlor or the beauty salon. You are just consuming that particular service. So on the light of this, we can differentiate between goods and services on the basis of intangibility, on the basis of heterogeneity, then simultaneous production and consumption, and perishability. Now let's have a look. First difference that lies over here between goods and services is your tangibility. Goods are tangible in nature, while services are intangible in nature. So the implication is that services cannot be invented, services cannot be patented, and services cannot be readily displayed or communicated. So pricing is very much difficult in this kind of case. Now another characteristic is, that is what we are discussing, that it is, in case of goods, they are standardized, they are set standards. But in case of services, yes, heterogeneous. They are heterogeneous, what we have just discussed. So as a result, what happened, that service delivery and customer satisfaction depend on employee actions. You are not very much sure that a service delivered as per the expectation of the planning or not, because it totally depends on the action of the employees at a time of service encounter, right? Then third characteristic is production is separate from consumption. In case of goods, there is a separation of production and consumption. Goods are manufactured at the plant, and you are consuming that or you are using that goods at your doorstep. So there is the separation between production and consumption. But in case of services, there is simultaneous production and consumption of service. So of course, here the implication is that customer participate in and affect the transaction. So of course, customer is participating in the process and results in affecting the transactions. Then customer is going to affect each other. Of course, he is going to one interaction of the one customer with the service provider may affect the interaction of the customer, another customer with the service provider. We will see in service encounter lecture that how it happens. Then as a result, that mass production is difficult, that you cannot offer wide services to the wide base of customers at a time, right? So it requires decentralization at a level of employees, that what he thinks good, he should be having the he should be having the freedom to do the work by their own. What he should what he thinks that it should be best suited for the customer. Then fourth characteristic is that goods are non-perishable, that they can be stored and they can be sold for in the future. But yes, services are perishable in nature, so it is very much difficult to make a synchronization between your supply and demand with the services, and services cannot be returned. Once you avail the service, yes, it has been availed. They cannot be returned, unlike goods, and they cannot be resold. Now you can see the tangibility spectrum. Here you can see the tangible and intangible dominant. So when we talk about tangible goods like salt, soft drinks, detergents, automobile, cosmetics. So this is how the tangibility is going on towards intangibility. That is fast food outlet, the advertising agency, airlines, investment management, consulting, and teaching. So this is the tangibility spectrum where they are highly tangible, and you can see the services are highly intangible. Goods are tangible and services are highly intangible. Now, what are the various factors that affect service market? Let us try to understand these factors. So first factor is your organization structure and size of organization. So of course, small organizations cannot appoint service professionals, right? So yes, the size of organization, the size of structure decide about that how you are going to deliver your services to the customer, right? Then regulations, what we have discussed, that how the government interfere. The interference of the government is again results in the restriction of the activities of the service provider, right? So service provider have to consider the local legislations or the rules and regulations of the government before delivering the services. Then characteristics of service itself a factor. Of course, they are intangible, they are heterogeneous, and they are perishable. So yes, it results in making or formulating the separate strategies for marketing the service. Then customer employee interaction. Yes, it is very important. Unlike goods, in case of services, there is an interaction of the customer and the service provider personnel. In case of goods, you know, we never have the interaction with the workers or with the operation managers who have manufactured the good, who have manufactured our laptop, who have manufactured who are in the manufacturing of our bikes. But yes, in case of services, customers are having interaction, we are having interaction with the employees of the service personnel. So as a result, it is very much required that service providers should focus on improving the communications, and they should provide training to the employee that how to deal with the customers. Then another is factor is quality of the service. So again, service marketing also, you know, results in having the proper focus on or the clear focus on service quality and implementing this service quality. So in the next lecture, we will discuss the concept of service quality. So thank you, student. Have a great day ahead.